we're just about to close out, so we'll close out again just about 3 minutes and 20 seconds before liftoff. We'll close out on ship, and then booster just about 30 seconds later, and then you end up with about 11 million pounds of liquid propellant on board those two stages. After we're fully loaded on the vehicle, the pad itself gets ready for launch. We do what's called pushbacks. We clear all that prop out of the lines in the tower and the feed system back into the tanks to get ready for launch. And then in the next couple of minutes, we're going to do our final GNC guidance, navigation, and control system alignment. We're going to arm the automatic flight safety system, and then we're going to do final kind of wiggle checks. 30 seconds later.
Testing, testing, testing.
And then you end up with about 11 million pounds of liquid propellant on board those two stages. After we're fully loaded on the vehicle, the pad itself gets ready for launch. We do what's called...
I don't know if this is working.
Pushbacks. We clear all that prop out of the lines in the tower and the feed system back into the tanks to get ready for launch. And then in the next couple of minutes, we're going to do our final...
Well, we'll see if this is working or not. How... I wonder if there's a way to view how many viewers I have right now.
Final GNC guidance, navigation, and control system alignment. We're going to arm the automatic flight safety.
Why is that stuff?
Safety system, and then we're going to do final kind of wiggle checks. We are coming up on 3 minutes away from launch. You can see the frost line all the way up. We've just closed out prop load onto the ship. Booster coming up shortly. Yeah, in about 10 seconds we'll finish loading prop on the booster, and then again we'll have about 11 million pounds of that liquid oxygen, liquid methane on board the vehicles. Not currently tracking a reason to hold at T-minus 40. It can pop up at the last moment, or after we pass that gate. We can always hang out there for a couple of minutes if we need to. We do have some extra time. We're not constantly topping off the propellant in these vehicles, so we have about a 7-8 minute window where we can wait for any final issues to clear. We're not currently tracking a reason to hold there. Again, our range continues to be green as we look at sea and airspace, both out over the Gulf and in our re-entry zone out in the Indian Ocean. All right, 2 minutes, 15 seconds to go. A lot of things on tap for Flight 11. Planned to be the last launch of this version of Starship and Super Heavy. Once again, we're really focused on getting ship over to re-entry. Once we get to that phase, we're going to dive in. There's a lot of exciting stuff that's going to be happening on our way back through and down to the ground, hopefully out in the Indian Ocean. Minute 45.
Okay, let's see if that helps.
Should hopefully be seeing... There's a quick wiggle check.
Well,
checking out the thrust vector control, the steering on the booster. We use those inner 13 engines.
Welcome.
Doing their one final dance before the big show.
Let's place our bingo cards now. How's this thing gonna fly?
And we'll do that one more time after we cross that T-minus 40 gate. Alright, range continues to be green.
How well is it gonna
Still not
fly?
tracking any issues on vehicle or pad. 1 minute to go. As a reminder, we can hold at T-minus 40. We're not planning to.
Why is my connection so poor? Is my fiber just
All right.
that bad?
We're through T-minus 40. Let's listen in. Flight Director Ty Huntington back in the seat. Take us through the final
Flight
seconds
Directors, go
until
for launch.
All right, we got 30 seconds and counting.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Starship. And a successful relay of booster 14.
We have liftoff. Go Super Heavy. Go Starship. Thanks for all the historic flights, Pad 1.
It's Anthem Pad 1, that's right. We got full engines. Good there.
Vehicles pitching downrange. Booster Raptor chamber pressure nominal.
Yeah, you can see the banding. They definitely have this very...
Booster and ship, nominal power telemetry.
Well, that's excellent.
All right, we are about 45 seconds into flight. We're still getting the rattle here at Star Factory. We are seeing 33 out of 33 Raptor engines lit on Super Heavy as it arcs across the Gulf. Coming up next on Max Q.
We're looking good here so far.
Max
All right,
Q.
So at this point, we've
something's
passed
peeling away
through
in the
that
corner
period
there.
of maximum aerodynamic pressure. The next thing we're looking forward to is going to be hot staging. So we've got 33 out of 33 Raptors lit. Super Heavy makes its way uphill. Hot staging is going to be coming up in just a little over a minute.
Let's see,
At
there's
that point,
something
we're
up
going to
higher
see
on my cursor.
all but 3 of those Raptor engines on Super Heavy shut down. Our version of Miko. Most engines cut off instead of main engine.
Let's see.
And then after that, we're going to release the clamps that are currently holding Starship to that hot stage adapter. It's then going to ignite its 6 Raptor engines to push it away from Super Heavy and then start making its flight uphill. So in a...
That's a cool shot going right into sunset. Let's see, are we looking better this time? I think we are. We're not dropping any frames. I think I was just trying to stream it way too much too good stuff. My bit rate is still too high, but the stream health is good, so. Rip, the only video view I had was my own testing it. Keep joining music in the background, right? Wow. Coworker, she got to see it from the front yard. That's pretty neat. We are in Florida. We're near the east coast of Florida. Maybe I should have gone outside and took a look. Alright, so we're like 20 seconds. So not horrible. I invite anyone to, talk about space or anything, but I got no viewers right now. Okay, so they're showing us a live view of the Earth whenever they lose signal. I bet you if I look south, because I am somewhere on the east coast here, so I bet you if I had looked south at the right time, I would have seen it.
Alright, welcome back everybody. If you're just now joining us, where the heck were you? But we are getting ready for payload deploy. That's going to start once we get the payload door open. That should be happening, or at least starting, within the next minute or so. It's been a really cool flight so far. Quick look inside the payload. We've got 8 Starlink simulators getting ready to make their way into outer space. But
impressive.
Great flight so far. Booster able to make it all the way to its splashdown and landing burn experiment, so that was really exciting to see. We got ship on orbit, nominal orbital insertion, so right in the money with its trajectory. Now we're ready to start tackling a couple of in-space objectives. So
Welcome.
Next up, we are currently venting down
the
the nose cone, essentially the payload area of Starship, as we get ready to open up this payload door. We were able to do this successfully for the very first time on our last flight, on Flight 10. Oop.
Apologies for the
Hal got ahead of me. Looks like he's opening up the payload door already.
Improving that, but I can't control the video or the internet speeds on my rental, so what about it? Maybe I can find a gray area where we have...
Alright, looks like we got the door open.
Door is open, that's always good. I think it will be interesting to see how these do when they're deploying real Starlinks in orbit.
Alright, so payload door is open. Next up, gonna be to start deploying these Starlink simulators. They are roughly the same size as the V3 Starlink satellites that Starship's going to be carrying. That's going to add some pretty crazy capacity. We'll run through the numbers in a little bit. We were able to do this for the very first time ever on our last flight, and so this will be another test. We made a couple of tweaks to the rails for deploying this based off of what we saw last time, but excited to see these get out the door. Our next iteration of Starship's also going to have a more powerful PEZ. It's going to deploy these at a little bit faster speed, but
I think you can almost see
to see our next demonstration of this. Hopefully in the next couple of seconds, we should start seeing them move out the door. I mean, that view on your left, so you're basically, that would be if you were sitting at the very top of the nose cone looking down. So there's kind of a short stack. There's 4 on either side, so 8 total. When we start flying Starlinks, for their actual deploy missions, we're going to be carrying stacks of about 60. So much larger stack once we start flying these operationally, but still doing a little bit of a short just for this payload deployed today.
No, the rail is moving. We're getting ready for deployment.
Looks like we got a little bit of movement there, Dan.
Coax it out. Get it moving, Jake.
And
there we go. All right, first one going out.
Come on, show us that right side.
All right, first one's deployed. Getting ready for the second one here. We do a little reset back to the center position.
Yeah, it takes about a minute for each one.
Looks real smooth too. They made a couple of tweaks to those rails. If you gosh, the last ones had a couple of bumps on the way out, but moving out super clean this time.
Yeah, and as noted earlier in the show, but definitely worth repeating, Starship will deploy Starlink's more advanced V3 satellites, adding 60 terabits per second of capacity to the network per launch. So that's 20 times more than each Falcon 9 launch does today. Just incredible.
Wait for the next push. It's released.
Yeah, and anybody that's been following Starship, you know Starlink's kind of the MVP for these flight tests, where it's not only giving us the views we're seeing right now, but also just real-time data through every phase of flight. So we've got a couple dozen cameras on Starship. We've also got a bunch of cameras spread across the globe, including out in the Indian Ocean, where we've got our fun buoys floating. There goes another one. And I mean, we're using Starlink to bring all of this together. It's our drone shots you see here from our great team down here at Starbase, all connected. So Starlink not only giving us cool views off the planet, but also on the planet, help bring everybody along for all these Starship flights.
Now looking at East Coast, I've seen so many Starlink launches that just
I think that's number 4. Somebody check my math.
YouTuber who covers broadcast like, man, there's Starlink launch. This is cool seeing them deploy, but I can't wait.
Yeah,
for
we've
people
got
fly on this
4
thing, or
Starlink
they really
terminals
get
on the
overboard.
outside of Starship. He uses that
When
to
we
talk
get
to
to
the
the
constellation, and through that
ship-to-ship
we actually get about
refuel and stuff like
120
that's gonna be
megabits
cool.
of bandwidth for our downlink. That's our real-time HD video, all of our telemetry. So it's not just kind of giving us these cool views inside, but it's giving all that engineering data in real time, including re-entry when normally a plasma layer builds up and blocks you out. Starlink
Please take your
powerful
time
enough
to
of a frequency that we're able to
deploy.
kind of punch through that and still get that live view.
But if you're in orbit, you have plenty of time to deploy these, and they're probably going slower too with their PET dispenser because it's the second time they've had it working, I believe. Second, maybe third. But yeah, they want to test it slowly. They want to make sure everything goes right. They probably have so many sensors on that rail checking as it's going.
All right, next one out the door. There we go.
We'll keep out to see right now.
All right, yeah, Starlink is the world's largest satellite constellation operating in low Earth orbit to deliver high-speed, low-latency broadband internet. This provides internet access to people around the world, many of who have never had connectivity before. Oh.
I'm not cheering about it. Kind of teleport. I feel like the angle it's a little different.
Right, today Starlink serves more than 150 countries, territories, and other markets with over 7 million active customers and counting. To meet the global growing demand for high-speed internet, SpaceX expanded its factory over in Bastrop, Texas, which is just outside of Austin, and also introduced Starlink Mini, as well as an upgraded version of the Starlink Standard Kit.
There's a test, and we are figuring these out as we go along.
Yeah, and one thing to note about the satellite deploy is that they will be following the same suborbital trajectory of the ship. So these dummy sats will not be going in orbit. We do expect them to burn up on re-entry.
All right, couple more to go. I promise one of these days we'll deploy in daylight. But we're basically trading deploy in the dark so we get those re-entry views for the daytime.
We do like the daytime there's no one. The single light and dark ship is so purposely programmed in the time that it is just a single light on. Which makes it very hard to see my ships at nighttime.
All right, I think we got one more to go.
We'll try. We'll see. I got one like. Thank you.
All right, now with payload deploy complete, Starship will now
Alright.
close its payload door and continue to coast around Earth to the Indian Ocean. We still have a ton of major events to come today, including Raptor Relight at about T plus 37 minutes. That will be followed by atmospheric reentry and splashdown. So with that, we're going to go on another quick coast.
Yeah, if you can hear us.
Doors closing, or doors closed. It would definitely be fun to be out there during the team.
All right, with that payload door closed, we're gonna sit tight, enjoy the views, and enjoy the space jams. Again, we'll be back in just a few minutes for Raptor Relight, and then head back for reentry.
Just enjoy the music. Let's see. I have to show everything all the time. Might have actually been here, but it's not telling me anything. Thank you, YouTube. We got Damien that commented about a minute ago and said, and thanks for watching. So thank you for watching. We are figuring this all out. I gotta stop switching between windows and if that's affecting my stream. Or if it could be the live view. I don't know. Either way, we're coming up to Africa. Slowly but surely. Well, not really slowly. I think we're moving at 26,000 kilometers an hour. That's pretty fast. I'm trying to keep an eye down here on the good thing. It will tell us what direction it's facing as they're having a rotation. It seems to be holding pretty steady right now. I don't know if they're going to do an engine relay on this test. I don't see anything listed up here as coming up. They might do it shortly before re-entry. Coworkers texting me now telling me how they could see it outside about 30 seconds after Seco and was only there for a few seconds, but so maybe I will try to get up on a very tall ladder and get a drone up or something next time and see what I can see. I'm trying to think when re-entry will be. If it crosses into, what's it, the Indian Ocean? We'll start re-entering over Africa. What do we think? Any thoughts anywhere? I've also got Tim Dodd, the Other Astronaut stream going up on my other TV next to me, which I can't hear him because I'm listening to my space stream. I don't want too many things going at once, but so I just got him talking, flailing his hands everywhere, but not really doing anything. I will hopefully get to meet Tim in a couple weeks. There's a space gala happening at Kennedy Space Center. I just bought my ticket for. That would be really cool if you don't meet him and Scott Manley and I think Zyla Foxland and a few other people I follow on YouTube that I would really like to meet. So, hoping I get a chance. Speaking of which, let's see if they ever got any resolution on my ticket. Because I had issues with my email, and I emailed them to see if they could respond. And I got nothing. Absolutely nothing. You guys probably came to watch this about rockets, and here I am checking my email. But I promise, it's email about space related stuff, so maybe that counts. Oh, hang on. It was in the in my junk mail. Alright, it looks like they update my email with the account and it is all set. I hope. Well, ticket form of ID. But I don't have the ticket. Well, I have the ticket in my yeah, Space Gala. I got the ticket. We're all good. We will do what we can to meet our YouTubers. The only other really famous YouTuber I met before was back before he was even really famous. It was James Thompson, the actor. He was doing a fan meet while he was in Orlando or something, so I got to meet him and we discussed his lightsaber project, his Iron Man projects that he built, the exoskeleton, of course. The exoskeleton really got me into his channel, so that was really fun to talk to him about that. Starship looks like it's facing down towards the Earth right now, given the clouds and everything we're seeing going below it. Well, next question for Chad, if anyone's still here. What should I have for dinner? Because I don't know what I want to eat. We'll get better at this, I promise. Probably. We will probably get better at this. We're just chilling here, watching Starship float through the sea of stars. Different camera angle, not doing much for us. We got a flap. We need Starship to get in the sunrise pretty quick. Let's see, it's about 90 minutes to orbit the Earth. It launched in the sunset. We'll get the sunrise right during re-entry. How live streams affect my total hours and all this stuff. Starship's about to cross over Africa. If they had a camera shake on their still image, I'm not sure why. zero source meaning beneath, and I bet something probably happened with the animation. I don't know what, but something. Figure I should cover when I, or mute when I cough. I got a stream deck here, I really need to set up, so let's get that.
All right, welcome back everyone. If you're just joining us, you did miss some exciting stuff because Starship successfully deployed its second ever payload, 8 Starlink simulator satellites. And now we're expecting the relight of a single sea-level Raptor engine in space coming up here just after T plus 37 minutes. So about a minute left to go.
Yep, just a little while. I think we're tracking to 37 in around 49 seconds or so. So we should be just about a minute and a half. We're, again, as Amanda just said, we're going to relight one of those center engines. This will be the third time that we've tried this. We did it successfully back on Flight 10, and then we did it for the very first time back on Flight 6. This is not a deorbit burn. This is demonstrating essentially all of the systems you would need to do a deorbit burn. So that's obviously your Raptor engine, and then also your header tanks, your smaller tanks in the nose cone, where we have liquid oxygen, liquid methane in a smaller, more easily pressurized container, which we can use for on-orbit burns. And we're also going to tap into those when we do our landing burn. So this will be a critical capability once we go to full orbital missions. You'll have to do a deorbit burn to break out of orbit, send it back down to Earth. But in this instance, we're already on our way back down towards Earth. So this is just going to demonstrate the capability of turning one of these engines on. We should be coming up in just about 20 seconds or so, looking for one of those Raptor engines to turn back on. They've been off since we completed that successful ascent burn almost 30 minutes ago.
Right hand of the screen, we should see an engine light up briefly.
Here we go.
We'll probably see it on the screen.
Raptor ignition.
Engine ignition 1.
And shut down.
All right, there was that Raptor relight. Looks like engine 3, full duration. As Dan mentioned, that's a third attempt, and we just did it 3 times in a row. So congrats to the team, the ship team, Raptor team. And then there we heard nominal second orbital insertion. All right, so congrats everyone on the milestone. That was awesome to see. We're 3 for 3. We're going to take another break, and we'll be back for re-entry at about T plus 45 minutes. We'll see you soon.
All right, 7 minutes till re-entry. If anyone's going to stick around till then, I appreciate it. It should be a nice light show. It's a little more light on the camera than we did before. See some earthly up down there as far as the cities.
Starship is slewing for entry.
Are we starting to get some atmosphere? Seems a little soon for it. They said T plus 45. The camera should become clearer once we start. Actually hitting entry. That might be a little bit of entry. You see like the faint missile in there, that might be us starting to hit some entry heating. Oh, I bet you what we're seeing is gas venting every time they use the RCS, and it's probably hitting light from maybe the sun, like the sunrise. I'll bet you that's some of what we're seeing with those flashes. definitely starting to get a little brighter out. Yeah, that's got to be the beginning of some entry below. I would like to say I know more about what I'm talking about, but I always learn something new about Starship every time. I'm also questioning why I'm looking at my side screen when I also have it on the main screen here. It's like me looking at the camera. Yeah, so right now we are just on the very upper edge of the atmosphere. There's barely anything going on up here, but as we're starting to drop down altitude and our speed picks up, more of the one body of the side is going to be hitting the particles, which are going to start getting thicker and thicker as we get lower, and that's going to cause heating as these particles are hitting the
Starship is approaching
Starship
entry
at
interface.
super high speeds, and it is trying to slow down, and that generates heat. It's friction. So place your bets now. How well is it going to hold together? We hope it's going to hold together pretty well, but you never know. I don't know what some of those noises are. I think 100 kilometers is where the international Kármán line is in space. I could be very wrong on that. Let's Google that. Where is the Kármán line? 100 kilometers, yep. But clearly, as you can see by the stream here, we are hitting entry at 109. We are already getting heat. But our speed is still increasing. We have not hit enough of the atmosphere to really start slowing us down. Maybe my new amount it is, but based on orbit, we're being pulled in quicker. If we were trying to do orbital speeds, these would be slowing us down. So our path is already having us on a parabolic course going back down. It's a very long parabolic course. Alright, we're 102 kilometers. We are about to cross out of space. If you measure the lines of spaces.
Ship is starting entry, good attitude.
And there's space.
All right, welcome back,
Nice.
everyone. The ship is currently re-entering Earth's atmosphere. As a reminder, we don't plan to recover the spacecraft today, but rapid and reliable reusability is the ultimate goal.
Yeah, the light show has already begun. You can see plasma starting to build on the windward side of the rocket there. And, you know, reentry is a critical phase of flight, and we need information on how the ship systems perform. Reentry is also extremely demanding portion of flight because we need the ship to scrub off all of the energy we used to launch the rocket. So remember the 33 engines plus the 6 engines on ship that we used to get up into space, we now are using aerobraking essentially to scrub off all that energy. And of course, Starlink is a big part of this, giving us the views we have right now, and also letting us gather as much data as possible, which again is really the main reason why we do these flights. And the view we have right now is actually a really good example. As we mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast, we have some tiles on the leeward side of the flaps here, and we have some different mechanisms, some stud out, basically to see if these tiles will hang on. And you know, we can see already here, it looks like we kept most of them, but I think I see a couple there that are no longer there. So the thermal team is definitely going to be digging into that and taking that data to help us iterate on V3. So yeah, Starlink provides us with one more path to collect data and help us rapidly iterate Starship's design.
And if the ship does manage to make it all the way to re-entry, we'll collect valuable data on the spacecraft flying through the Earth's atmosphere at hypersonic speeds, or more than 5 times the speed of sound. Re-entry is typically a portion of flight where we don't have communications with spacecraft because it's re-entering at or around orbital velocity, which is roughly 8 kilometers per second or 5 miles per second. At those insanely high speeds, the spacecraft moving through the atmosphere creates a plasma field around the vehicle.
Yeah, and that blanket of plasma distorts communication frequencies, so it's not uncommon to experience brief blackouts in communication. All right, so big picture here, Starship is designed to land on Mars where there are no runways or other humans to help out. So that means we need to do a propulsive landing instead of a more traditional means like parachutes, which is what our Dragon spacecraft uses, or a runway like the Space Shuttle. Propulsive landing enables more rapid reusability.
Now, as the ship makes its way back to Earth, we should start hearing some call-outs when we hear entry max heating and entry max Q. That means the ship has made it through the maximum heating and aerodynamic loads it will experience as it returns. So if it makes it through all of those, that's a pretty good sign that we're doing well.
Yeah, and we heard flaps have control of the vehicle now. Okay, there's a great shot there. You're starting to see the plasma build up. So we will hear a call out when the ship is transonic and then subsonic. Transonic refers to the period of flight where the velocities of airflows surrounding and flowing past the vehicle are concurrently below, at, and above the speed of sound, somewhere in the range of Mach 0.8 to 1.2. All right, a lot of numbers coming up here, but for reference, commercial jets have a range of cruising speeds, but most fly around Mach 0.74 to Mach 0.85, which is 480 to 575 miles per hour, or 770 to 930 kilometers per hour. Right now, we're going a little over 26,000 kilometers per hour. So compare that to the airplane at 930. It's like pretty crazy how fast we're going here. All right, and after we hear the call out that Starship is transonic, we should hear the call out that Starship is subsonic. Subsonic, of course, refers to the speed that is much less than the speed of sound. So at that point, the ship's velocity will be starting to slow down, and we'll be looking a little bit more like some of our suborbital flights from, at this point, almost 5 years ago.
Yeah, so re-entry so far is looking pretty good. You can see that plasma field. Also, again, with those missing tile experiments, especially, we're putting the ship through a lot today, but things are looking pretty good so far.
Yeah, we're looking good. I do want to remind people that we are pushing ship to the limits. We've done a lot of these missing tile tests. We did it back on Flight 10. Every time we do it, we throw something new and the ship makes it through. This time, we're really pushing it. We've removed these tiles in some of the spots that see the highest level of heating. And we remove tiles that have zero backup protection underneath. So there's essentially just bare steel.
So it sounds like we might have ship
It's one of the heat of re-entry. And so do not be surprised if this is not a very smooth flight on the way down. But again, this is intentional. We are trying to find what are the limits for ship. How resilient are we to these different issues that could pop up? If we lose a tile anywhere in the vehicle, we want to know what that ultimate impact is going to be. So We've got a couple missing. We had a bunch pulled over the primary fuel, the LOX tanks, everything. This one, we've got a tile missing right on top. So that's going to see some of the highest temperatures during this re-entry, and there's just bare steel right underneath it. So we're going to see if Starship's robust enough to pull through that. Also have some tiles missing around the aft flaps, specifically on the leading edge. So again, we're getting a really good look right at the leading edge. That's getting really intense heating. So again, gonna see if it can make it through. See if all the flaps hold on, see if Starship holds together. But definitely could be a bumpy ride, but this is why we're flying. This is why we're flying in this part of the world. This is why we're putting Starship through these flight tests to really understand what its limits are. So we can then move on to the next thing, which is going to be bringing ships back to the launch site for a catch. But for now, still on this suborbital, the light show continuing. Keep following it in. I think we got about 15 minutes until splashdown.
It's looking good so far. We're still in the upper
Yeah,
hemisphere.
Dan, it
We're getting
looks,
the burn
you can see
through
our speed our speed indicator in the bottom left there. It looks like we're starting to scrub off velocity a little bit quicker.
Oh yeah, it's dropping.
Ship is entering the peak heating phase of flight.
If we're gonna get burned through, this is where it'll be.
Looks like we can see some clouds down there as we pass through 70 kilometers altitude.
Yeah, the sun's starting to come up again. Ooh, there we go.
There we go.
Oh. Yeah, it's coming up.
Skirt is intact so far this time. If you watched Flight 10, you saw we entered with a little bit missing. That was ultimately traced to a little bit of buildup. We dumped prop on the way. We had a little bit of solid propellant buildup, and then either static discharge or the plasma ignited it, took out a tiny bit of that skirt, some of the aft flaps, but Starship, again, was able to fight through it, make it all the way to that landing burn. We addressed that, changed some of our prop dump con-ups, though, so should not be seeing that this time around.
Honestly, it's looking better than last time, where everything seems to be holding together pretty well.
And as a reminder, we're,
Famous last words.
in addition to these missing tile tests, we're doing kind of a unique flight on the way in. It's going to do what we call a banking maneuver. So while we're still going supersonic and even hypersonic, we're doing kind of a banking turn. And then we'll do a pretty aggressive turn right as we get into the subsonic and start doing our belly flop. And that's designed to essentially be the approach that we would do on a return to launch site in a tower catch. So don't be surprised if we see the ship start to turn and make a few maneuvers as it makes its way down to the Indian. And fun fact, even though we're doing all this turning, we're essentially targeting the exact same spot in the Indian Ocean we went to last time.
Well, we'll see how that does. I expect it'll handle the turns pretty well. I don't know about their cameras keeping up with this, but that's a good view there. Really clear view, the Earth behind it.
All right, just about 12 minutes to go. Still looking good.
Speed's really dropping off.
That gives a pretty good view of those aft flaps where, again, on the leading edge, I think it might be on the one on the other side, we had some tiles removed with no backups behind it. So again, we're really trying to stress some of the most sensitive areas around Starship, where basically if you lose a tile, it's the worst possible spot. And if we're able to make it through this, then that tells us quite a bit about just how resilient this vehicle is.
They've come a long way from the water tower that would blow up.
Yeah, and that shot we just had earlier was looking at what we call the business end of Starship with all the Raptor engines. And those are the engines that we're going to be expecting to light for that flip and landing burn, hopefully in about 10 minutes once we get through reentry. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, looking at E3, that's the one. It's the one we did the relight on. So it's 2 for 2 so far. We'll see if it can go 3 for 3.
Yeah.
I got faith in our engines. They seem to be doing pretty well so far. Ooh. Take a look down at the bottom here. We got some heating, definitely eating away at that little piece.
All right, we can see that speed just continue to bleed off under 20,000 kilometers an hour. Ship's still holding together.
We got no bleed through here that we can see. That's looking good.
Yeah, and if you look in the bottom right, it looks like we've made it all the way to the Indian Ocean. We're coming up kind of near Australia, the west side of Australia there. So pretty crazy. We're only 56 minutes in, and we've made it all the way, you know, halfway around the world.
You see this coloring here and this coloring down here. It's either a reflection on the main body or it means there's some other heating going on, I think.
It's actually a good demonstration of a future capability we hope to have on Starship, where we will do point-to-point transport on Earth. So essentially travel anywhere in the world in about an hour or so, which is, you know, going to be pretty crazy. Imagine going from New York to Sydney in 1 hour instead of the, you know, 20 hours it takes currently.
Interesting. Yeah, you can also see on the leading edge here how much heating is going on. This might be part of the turn. They're definitely using those flaps.
A reminder, so this camera is, oh, we see some of the heat rate picking up a little bit. And this camera is embedded right in the end of one of those forward flaps, so you see it moving around. That's the flap adjusting to maintain control. Looks like we're getting into our bank maneuver.
Yep, we are definitely moving right now. That's going to change the heating on the ship a lot.
Now power sliding through the atmosphere.
External temperatures are coming down.
That's good. How's the other side of the ship doing?
Vehicle is now at maximum dynamic pressure.
Don't worry, she'll hold together.
All right, that was basically our reverse max Qs, so most aerodynamic stress that it's going to see during reentry, we just passed through it. So we're past that, we're past peak heating. Ship's still holding together.
I wonder if they put 360 cameras on these ships.
So we're currently in this bank maneuver. We're going to see it kind of roll over and do a pretty significant shift as we get down closer to the subsonic speeds.
Yeah, and that bank maneuver that Dan's mentioning is all in part of us to learn about the guidance, navigation, and control for return to launch site missions. So in the near future, we're hoping to return the ship back to the same pad we just took off on 59 minutes ago, and we've got to do some of these pretty dynamic bankings to make that trajectory work out.
Heating doesn't look bad, however, I see some heating coming out inside here.
All right, the light show kind of calming down as we're starting to move into the lower parts of the atmosphere. We should hit transonic, so hitting that transition between moving faster than the speed of sound and below the speed of sound in just about 3.5 minutes. Our landing burn should happen right around an hour and 6 minutes after launch, so we should be just about 6 minutes away from that. You can see lots of daylight. Everybody cross your fingers, see if our range team is able to get out there and provide any surprise views as Starship makes its way down.
Probably got a buoy again.
Oh, it's like they heard me.
They got a drone. Yes, I think that's right. Please be hiding in
Ready and waiting. Let's go.
Dan, you just spoke that view into existence there.
the buoy. I couldn't tell you.
And again, all brought to us by
RTS banking
Starlink.
maneuver has started.
All right, there we go. So we're now starting into our really heavy bank maneuver. Again, this does almost like a half circle loop to our actual trajectory. We're heading to the same exact splashdown point, but we're kind of doing a more roundabout way to get there, where it's this kind of big, long half moon loop and then a really aggressive kind of twist right at the very end. And that would line us up with the launch tower.
We'll see.
Starship, on a return to launch site, would fly over the tower, do a quick landing burn flip, and then come down for catching the arms.
How about that S-38 decal there, staying strong on that view we just had?
Good to see the numbers back on.
Yeah.
Thank you. Whoever liked this, thank you.
All right, should be hitting transonic in about 2.5 minutes. Landing flip coming up in about 4.
I guess I'm most exciting. I'm trying to be quiet.
Pretty
while I'm
clouds there in
talking.
the Indian Ocean today. Again, yeah, we changed our launch times. We launch in the evening now, so we get these daytime views down in the Indian Ocean. One of the things we're really looking for, the reason we have the drone, other than, yeah, that looks really cool, is we're able to kind of see the ship. We can only see so much from these cameras. You can't see like the vast majority of the heat shield. So we throw these buoys out there. We've got
Where's the buoy?
oh, there's
You spoke it again, Dan. There it is.
they're playing with me in the control room. All right. But we have these buoys out there. We have these drones that we're trying to see externally how the heat shield held up. Everybody saw from Flight 10 it had a little bit of a paint job, a little bit of a reddish hue. That was from those metallic tiles that we had tested, kind of oxidizing really rapidly in that plasma and then spreading those little oxide particles all over the heat shield. No metal tiles on this flight, so not expecting to see that.
Dynamic
and
pressure
then-
is coming down.
Good view of the side of the heat shield right there. Seas are a little
Hope nobody
chunky.
gets seasick. All right, coming up on transonic shortly. It's about 2.5 minutes of landing burn.
Yeah, and once we get to around the 15-kilometer altitude mark, that's where we have a lot of flight history.
Starship
from
is
those suborbital
transonic,
flights.
starting the belly flop phase of flight.
Yep, that belly flop phase that we perfected in the suborbital campaigns, we're entering that now.
We got something flapping down here, and it's not the flap.
All right, sorry to get those Raptors ready. Should be 2 minutes away from
Actually, it looks like
landing burn. Again, we're gonna do a flip.
It's not the heat shield tile. it's
After
something
we
else.
ignite those engines, we'll go from 3 down to 2 for the final phase of the landing burn and look for another soft splashdown, hopefully by our buoy and drone, which are hanging out, ready and waiting for a ship.
Still got little pieces flying off.
Seeing all 3 center engines have entered the chill phase.
All right, are y'all gonna light again? What's our bets? I think they'll light again.
All right, less than a minute to go.
I always just get the
Shipping
sense
is-
of
the
feeling
ship
from
is making
forward
its turn for
reception
final
three, the ship's
approach.
coming back in.
And here's this kind of aggressive final turn that would essentially position it so it's right behind the launch and catch tower. Flaps holding strong. Landing burn in just under 20 seconds.
Let's see how it does. Let's cross through the clouds. Let's see if we get the shot at 10 engine bay.
Ship landing startup.
And ignition of all 3 engines. Mark it.
There's our landing burn.
Alright, we'll stuff flying off.
3 down to 2.
Starship has landed.
Why does this look quicker from the camera? I should go up as the clouds. Let's have it for 50 camera. There it goes. Lovely.
As we said, we're not planning on recovering the ship today. Hey, welcome back to Earth, Starship. We are down in the Indian Ocean. Let him hear at Starbase. What a day.
What a flight.
That was a good flight. And a good flight.
Oh. All right. Welcome back to Earth, ship. What a day. A whole lot more to go through. As you just saw, everybody here at Starbase pretty hyped. Hey, Tyler, out of Hawthorne, how's everybody holding up?
Thank you, Dan. We had a fantastic time watching. It was another exciting Starship flight test in the books, and we hope that you enjoyed those Starlink views too. So congratulations to the team at Starbase and everyone here and around the company. So many employees contribute to the Starship program as we continue to iterate and make progress towards a multi-planetary future. So that wraps it up for us here in Hawthorne. Thank you for tuning in, and back to you guys.
Yeah, what an incredible launch today. We had successful liftoff. Booster completed its objective, successfully splashed down over in the Gulf. Obviously, we saw another amazing Starlink deploy as well from ship.
Yeah, we made it through that re-entry, testing all the different experience. We had missing tiles, gave us quite the light show. We had that Raptor relight, 3 for 3. That was ahead of re-entry, of course. And then that awesome splashdown that we just saw, including that dynamic banking maneuver to simulate RTLS when we returned to the launch site. So yeah, we promised maximum excitement, and Starship delivered.
Definitely.
Congrats to all our teammates at SpaceX and to everyone who's supporting the Starship program. And thank you to all our future customers for your support.
We'd also like to thank the fine people of Cameron County, including the residents of its newest city, Starbase, as well as the Coast Guard, the Federal Aviation Administration, the Government of Mexico, and the Australian Space Agency.
Yeah, be sure to follow SpaceX on X for updates and about more of the exciting views we didn't get to feature on today's broadcast.
And if you're interested in more launch coverage just like this, head over to spacex.com/launches for the most up-to-date information.
All right, I will take us out. Hey, congrats, Jake and Amanda. You guys did amazing. Great job. All right, today we launched the world's biggest rocket, knocked out all of our objectives. Shout outs to every single person who made this look easy. Thank you to everybody tuning in. We're going to see you back here for the very first flight of our next generation Starship. So we'll see you then. Good night.
Stream ends. He's also waiting for the stream to end. There we go. And let me see if I can kill that. Yes. Because we don't need to see everything on the working? Is this working? No, not working. Well, thanks for watching, everyone. I'm going to just probably end it here, and we will catch you in the next one, or something else. Maybe it'll be a build video next. Have a good night, everyone. Bye.